All right, got a big bait. On the hunt for a monster. That's something real, boys. The fish do exist. We got a huge mountain lion trap. And this is when the hunter turns into the hunted. People that have drank this river water have experienced hallucinations and kidney problems and... Oh my gosh, I hate snakes. It's like a fairy tale land designed by Satan himself. I'm seeing pieces of brush wedged nearly 50 feet up that cliff. It's just a reminder of how dangerous those flash floods can be. There's a huge cloud on the river above me, and I know it's dumping an insane amount of water. I'm currently headed in one of the most rugged and remote areas of the American borderland. I'm in search of one fish, a true river giant. I'm gonna be surviving out here in this vast wilderness for as long as it takes to catch one. And the only gear I've got to survive is what I've got here in my canoe. 10 minutes into the trip, and I've already capsized and went for a swim. This is gonna be one of the craziest adventures I've ever been on. Stay tuned. I'm gonna be surviving and fishing for a true river giant, looking for one fish the size of a man. I've got no camera crew, no support crew. It's just me and all the wild animals out here. Well, today's been the day of rapids, without a doubt. Constant bad rapids. Really wish I had brought my raft for this. This section of the river is known for its dangerous flash floods. You can see debris right there from a recent one from last week. This river's been known to come up over 40 feet within minutes, trapping the people within its canyon walls. All right, let's see if I can find a place to sleep for tonight. I'm running on 0 sleep. I drove all night to get here. It's flooded way up into these trees. Oh my gosh. Look at this, guys. We got a huge mountain lion trap. And this is when the hunter turns into the hunted. Now, I've never personally laid eyes on a mountain lion in my life, but I know they've laid eyes on me. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep moving. Probably not gonna sleep right here. All right, I made it a couple miles downstream to go see if this spot's looking any safer to camp. An animal definitely just urinated right there. Let's hope it was just a deer. Oh my gosh. And here we go. First sign of life of the monster we're after on this trip. Check this out. That's why they're called the flathead catfish. That's not a monster by any means, but its mother has to be here somewhere. That's probably only about a 10-pounder. Definitely liking this campsite a lot more than the mountain lion track one. I'm sure there's mountain lions here too. This area has one of the densest populations of mountain lions and bears. All right, let's set up camp. Shade is a really valuable commodity here in the desert. I'm gonna take advantage of every little bit I can. I am absolutely exhausted. One thing I forgot to mention is that if something happens and I have to get out of here as quick as possible, some kind of an emergency, it's a 10 days paddle, full daylight till dark paddling just to get out of where I'm at right now. So there's no quick option. We're really in the wilderness here. I'm actually not even sure how fish live in this river. The water is so salty that when you drink it through a filter even, it tastes like the ocean. So I'm having to carry most of my water for the trip. The only time I'm gonna get to supplement my water is hopefully if we can find some springs. People that have drank this river water have experienced hallucinations and kidney problems and all kinds of stuff, and I really don't want to have to go through that, but if we have to drink it, we will. Hopefully we don't have to. Well, I just looked into some bait, caught a piece of bait. I'm gonna go ahead and make a cast first day. This hole's a little bit shallow, but you never know, in these floodwaters there could be a giant lurking. Now we wait, the hunt begins. So a little bit about why I chose this river to go after this giant fish. It's pretty much because of the lack of people. Where there's less people, less trot lines, less jug lines, there's the opportunity for a fish to grow to maturity and get huge. These flathead catfish are known to live over 20 years. So the chances of them coming into contact with a person that's going to eat them in those 20 years in most places is pretty high. We're getting a bounce right now. Having a lot more activity than I expected in this hole. I'm really hoping we can get this done in a few weeks. I don't want to stay out here till winter. And I've got a snake coming right at me. Pretty good sized snake. This could get interesting. Oh my gosh, I hate snakes. Get. Whew. That was sketchy. Alright, bait number 2 going out. Perfect size. Oh, something's messing with it. Thought we had this challenge completed on day 1. It's getting bit. That is not just that sunfish jumping around there. Something is trying to fit it in its mouth. Man. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna go ahead and rig up a third one as well. Got lucky and caught a third piece of bait. 3 perfect size sunfish. Oh gosh. Something was taking a lot of line right there. This is on the big bait. Something had him. I'm gonna throw him back out there. All right, let's try again. Something was messing with it. I'm on. Oh. I got to see him. It's just a needle-nosed gar, about a 3-footer. I got bite alarm set up on the last 2 baited rods. Now I'm gonna try to go to sleep. Hopefully I wake up to a giant flathead catfish. Just had a fish on. Whew. That alarm scared the heck out of me. Came off. Definitely something took it though. That was the big one. Golly, that alarm's gonna make me have a heart attack about midnight if it goes off. Back to bed. Oh, we're on. That's the species we're after. It's 2 in the morning. Look at that guy. Show my foot next to him. Not the size I'm looking for, but we're on the right track. It's a future river giant right there. Day 2. Time to hit the road. Be looking for a deep hole of water today that could possibly hold a giant. The flow rate on this river right now is near whitewater rafting levels. Now in my kayak, this wouldn't be an issue, but in this canoe, man, it is not easy. But look at this view I got. Well, I was scared this might happen at some point in my journey, but it just did. River's completely blocked with reeds. The floodwaters pushed and blocked the whole entrance of the river. The river flows underneath it. So now I gotta figure out what to do. I gotta get to the other side. There's no other option. It's a good thing I brought a machete. Well, I finally reached a little bit slower portion of the river, so I'm gonna have my lunch here. Got some dried beef, pistachios, and dried apples. My favorite river lunch. Quick and easy. I've been floating these rivers most of my life, and I've never been down anything this bad. That is some serious flow rate. Whew. Made it down it alive, barely. Something crazy happens right here. The water flows underground. So if you'd have wiped out down these rapids right here, it could have sucked you into that hole wherever it's pulling water and just done you in right there. I'm seeing pieces of brush wedged nearly 50 feet up that cliff. Just a reminder of how dangerous those flash floods can be. They can come up like that in almost an instant. And it's starting to look kind of stormy as we speak. It's starting to rain. There's really no way around this thing. I'm just gonna have to run it. I can't have the camera out because there's a good chance I'll lose it in those rapids if I flip. Got another herd of wild horses right here. You can tell they're wild. There's nothing around and they have no brands. But I think that horse right there definitely has some Comanche war pony blood in it. Look at him. Several of them. In terms of horses, the Comanches were said to be some of the wealthiest people on earth, having herds of 20 or 30,000 ponies. When General McKenzie and the US Cavalry finally caught up to them, he ordered all of them shot, but I suspected a few made it out here. This boat is my modern day equivalent of a horse. Through this country, when the pioneers lost their horses, they died. All right, as you can see, well, I've been paddling for about 12 hours, it seems like. And as you can see, the water's changed colors. I found a spring. I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to replenish my water supplies. Hopefully this isn't salt water flowing out of the ground. Oh dang, look at all those fish. Please be fresh water. It's about as fresh as it gets. I'm gonna top off all my water bottles just in case we don't find another one for a while. Got my water supplies all replenished. It's getting late in the day. We're gonna have to find a place to camp quick, or else we're gonna be paddling into the night. All right, I think this spot will work for camp. Sun's getting too low to be picky. And if a flash flood comes down the river, I'm gonna be trapped in between these canyon walls. Hopefully we don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna get camp set up. Well, today was probably my hardest day of paddling ever. And I've paddled many thousands of miles, trust me. Between hacking through the thick reed jungles and super strong currents right now. That was a hard one. I think I covered close to 20 miles today. Now I just gotta get us some bait caught, and we're gonna go back after those big catfish. Well, all my other worms are dead to catch bait with. So I had an idea before I left, because I had a feeling this might happen. I took and I just dehydrated a bunch of like Canadian night crawlers. I don't know if it'll work or not, but hopefully I don't mistake that for my jerky bag in the middle of the night. Can't use that for bait, not in this state at least. That would make a good snack for a giant flathead catfish. I did get him on my dehydrated worms though. Might be onto something with those. Just kidding. Not that hungry yet. your lucky day, buddy. I thought about keeping him to eat for dinner, but these fish are mean in this river. Cooking some stew for dinner tonight. Kind of looks like vomit. I've got to get everything ready. We've got a big storm system coming. 50% chance, and that's not a good chance out here because I'm camped right along the water. I got to be prepared to haul butt in the middle of the night. It's 11:51. I just drug camp up the hill, maybe another 5 feet out of the floodplain. There's a huge cloud on the river above me, and I know it's dumping an insane amount of water. The river's about to come on a rise, possibly about to be stuck in a flash flood. It's not good. There's another huge cloud, even closer than the last one. These are things that makes rivers rise rapidly. My tent almost got hit by a boulder, and I look up and there's Audad's sheep all on the cliff above me. I gotta drag the boat a long ways. It's all the way back up in there up against the cliff. All right, I'm heading out. Pretty sure there's a wall of water coming down from up above around where we put in. There was a huge storm system, multiple storms that sat on it almost all night. So I'm gonna be watching for flood debris, and if the wall of water does hit, I'm gonna have to get off the river quick. Today's gonna be pretty sketchy. Now those are some serious rapids to run in a canoe. One wrong turn, the nose of your boat turns into one of those rocks, and the weight of the water is gonna pin you under it. Wish me luck. Every day that I've been on the river, the water's been slowly rising, making these rapids more and more dangerous every day. All right, let's run it. I'm starting to see signs of ancient civilization. You can see soot on the roof of that cave up there. Pulled off in this canyon for lunch. And how's that for a drop? Look at that. There's fish swimming all in there. It's a deep hole. I suspect that it's a deep hole in this other part of the canyon too, right here. And I think that's where there could be a monster lurking. Probably gonna camp here tonight and fish all night, hoping for a giant. It's kind of weird that this is just laying out like this. This is what the ancient peoples of this region subsisted on, baking the roots of this plant. All right, guys, I just stopped in this random canyon for lunch. Check this out. Definitely prehistoric cave paintings. I don't know what that is, but something. Another shape there. That squiggly line right there. What is that? Like a giant snake? Oh, and there's people right there. This is crazy. This is awesome. This is gonna be one of the coolest things I've ever found. Look at that one. That's like a shaman or something. That's a crazy one. Behind me we've got like a shaman or something, some supernatural being. And here we've got a wasp nest that's not prehistoric. This is how I've been having to charge all of my camera equipment with this little solar panel here. Luckily there's been no shortage of sun. gotta be well over 100 right now. All right, I think I'm gonna set up camp here on this high ledge over this deep, dark hole of water. There's still supposed to be a flood warning on the river, so it could come up at any moment. And hopefully I'm up high enough here where I got an escape route to go up the cliff if I have to. And when you can't find shade, you make it. That's why I always keep this camo cloth with me. This is some of the hottest weather I've ever been in. Just got camp set up. About to get these rods baited up and thrown out. Feeling good. I think there's the one we're after in this hole of water. It just looks too eerie. All right, got a big bait. On the hunt for a monster. Big gizzard shad here. See if something will eat it in this deep hole. It is super deep out there. If something takes that, it's gonna be a giant. My bet is on this bait here. Rio Grande cichlid. I think that in these waters, this is probably their primary forage. Wow, that seemed like it fell endlessly. This hole must be 60 feet deep. Using 80-pound line, and I honestly don't even know if that's gonna be enough. That bait is freaking out down there, and usually when that happens, something large is near. That bait's in a spooky place. All right, I think tonight's the night, but we'll see. All right, got dinner cooked up here. Beef stew. Got our fishing rods. Got our fishing rods all set out. We're just waiting on a beeper. Fingers crossed. It's gonna happen. Not a single bite last night. On to the next hole. How the heck does this happen? Perfectly drilled holes. In the middle of nowhere. Alright, these have got to be human prehistoric footprints. Look at this. Look at that. Shaped just like a foot. In this hard limestone bed. Whew, today was a hot one. Look at that airplane. Found some shade. Trying to decide if I'm gonna sleep here or not. All right, I'm gonna continue on. It's 5 o'clock and I still got like 10 more miles to go to get to where I wanna be, but I'm gonna risk it. Well, I was setting camp up. I made a cast and then like 10 seconds later, caught this channel cat. Didn't even get a chance to get the tent set up. Now that's a camp with a view right there. I don't think I'm gonna be needing my rain fly on tonight. Got about the biggest natural one you could ever ask for. Camping a little higher than usual because I know that there could be some water still coming down from those storms. Could rise a few feet. And I've got an escape route right there if I have to go out and abandon the boat. Alright, I'm gonna cook some dinner and catch us some bait. Alright guys, tell me this isn't the footprint of an ancient man. My foot fits perfectly in that. And there's several others in line. This is not mud, this is rock. There's dinner tonight, just a tortilla, seaweed, and spicy tuna. I am so hungry, I'm probably gonna have to cook something else too. It's one of my favorites. Even the ants in this place are crazy. Look at that teamwork, guys. Teamwork makes dream work. Perfectly orchestrated. I'm being plagued by a giant soft-shell turtle. Every night I've had a turtle steal all my bait. Cooking some chicken and rice too. I definitely don't think I've been getting enough calories. I'm starving. Okay, buddy. Trying to use my fishing pole there. Oh, he's got my line. Oh. Look who decided to join the dinner party. That thing's pretty big. Hopefully he doesn't crawl in bed with me tonight. Well, I got a catfish, but that's not the species we're after. They keep biting my bait rod. I'm trying to catch some sunfish for bait, and the catfish won't leave it alone. All right, got one catfish rod out. Looking for a giant. Hope it happens soon because I'm ready to go home. This place is brutal. Fish on my bait rod. Bass. Very acrobatic bass. Ooh, that was a rough one. And I did just get confirmation that there's a new flash flood warning above where I put in at. So I've got to be expecting that water to come down. So up to this point, none of the rapids I've been over were named. This is where the named rapids start. These are going to be class 5 plus. All right, I got to get packed up. We got to get on the road. Starting to look more like big fish territory every day. The river is opened up. It's massive pools. Still having extreme rapids, but the pools are getting bigger, which could mean bigger fish. Well, there's no wind and this heat is near unbearable. Had to put my umbrella up. It's well over 100 degrees. All right, here's camp, day number, I don't even know, I've been out here so long. Tent set up over there. Canoes over there, rods. I only got one bait out, So far, the most challenging thing on this trip's been catching bait. I got one bait out, but it's a big bait. So if we do get a take, it's gonna be a monster. God, today was rough, and tomorrow we have a massive set of rapids to conquer. Probably gonna have to portage around them. We'll see. Nothing last night. Just a lot of wind. The hunt continues. And first thing right off the bat this morning, I'm faced with one of the biggest obstacles of the trip. My map says this is a class 5 plus rapid. It says portage. I don't see a way around it, so I'm not gonna portage. We're gonna run it. Looks pretty dangerous. Wish me luck. The species of catfish I'm after is known to hide out in log jams like this. So I'm gonna drop a bait down and hope for the best. Catch some fresh baits. These died. It's almost like the water in the place I was at was toxic. This is a really good spot for a monster to hide. Nothing. I've got to focus today on getting some good fresh baits and getting them in some deep holes. I think that's going to be the key to success. Just keeping big baits, fresh baits in the water, and hoping for the best. I was trying to catch some bait with the ultralight, and look at this fat guy. That's a fat one. And this is the last of my water. I had really been counting on there being a lot more springs to resupply on, and I'm gonna have to ration that until I find another one, because all the other ones that showed on the map were dry. So I'm gambling that there's another one a few miles ahead. Got a really dangerous spot right here. The water is flowing straight under this big rock. And if you were to capsize and fall out right there and get wedged under that, that would be the end of you. I've got some bad news. I'm starting to come across evidence of trot liners where they've driven stakes into these rocks and they're stretching lines across the river. That's probably like the 20th one of those I've seen. While it seems like I'm in a really remote area, I just don't think giants can live where there's people trot lining. All right, here's camp tonight. Found some trees. I'm ready to go home. The wind blew super bad today, made it about 10 miles. I'm out of water, starting to have to filter some river water and drink. No fish. All right, guys, just a little update. It's been a few days since I filmed. The floodwaters have hit. I made my way back upstream. Found a pretty good remote hole. I'm just gonna sit on this hole till we get one. And this afternoon, I happened to look into some really good baits. So I think today's the day. The days have turned into weeks. And as you can see, I'm in some extreme wind right now. I need to get this done quick. I'm starting to run low on food. Perfect size bait. Bait number 3 going out. All right, lines are in. Now we wait. Got a good feeling about tonight. Gonna be some thunderstorms, and that usually gets the big cats riled up. See y'all if there's any activity. Okay, maybe the Walmart tent wasn't the best idea when I've got $1,000 tents at home. Great. That's something real, boys. How about that? About a 10-pound bass. These things follow me all over the world, no matter where I go. Whew. That's a giant. It's a big old fish. My tent pole shattered last night. Gonna have to spend the rest of the trip without a tent. Well, unfortunately, the tent breaking is gonna bring this trip to an end, but the fish do exist. Check this out. That is the head of a monster flathead catfish I just found. I mean, that thing is absolutely monstrous. But it's just proof that they are out here, and I'll be back. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see y'all next time.